Yes, sir.
Check it, check it. So we will discussing about the next question, that is which of the following is planned expenditure of fiscal policy. So every year from the static part, questions have been asked from fiscal policies, monetary policies, inflation, then all this what you can say the basic topics, balance of payment. So you need to know about it. So which of the following is planned expenditure? So earlier the question was related to which among the following is non-planned expenditure. Here I have asked about the planned expenditure. So interest payment, infrastructure development, subsidies, and defense expenditure. So here there might be a confusion between B and D, but the most appropriate answer should be B, that is infrastructure development. Fine. Piyush is not there today. Bagisha, has he attempted the test or not? Okay. Chale, going to the next question. With respect to anchor investor, consider the following statement. So questions have been asked about the various types of investment in the financial market. So there are various terms which are being in the news related to the investment in the financial market. So anchor investor, angel investors, or venture capital, such type of questions have been asked in the past. So with respect to anchor investor, consider the following statement. First, anchor investors are institutional investors who are invited to subscribe the shares before initial public offering. So such type of statements are most of the time correct. So you need to consider this statement are correct. Anchor investors are required to take up share of at a fixed price. Each anchor investor needs to invest a minimum of rupees 1 crore. So here 1 crore is wrong. As I told you, most of the times the numbers are wrong. So what should be the answer of this question? It should be
1 and 2 only.
1 only or 1 and 2 only. But since 1 only is option not there, so you should mark 1 and 2. Got it? Rupali, you attempted this question?
No, sir.
You have not attempted. So you got it? How to find out the answer of such questions in the exam? समझ में आ रहा है? Those who have not attempted, you should have attempted these questions by using this logic. सबको समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Like even if you don't know, you should attempt the questions by knowing the trend. That is what is expected. If you have any confusion, please ask me. Zainab?
Yes, sir.
You're getting it? What I'm trying to say? See,
Yes.
prelims exam is all about this mind game, nothing else. It's more about what you can say, not how much knowledge you have, that is more about how psychologically confident you are while attempting the question and not attempting the question. Both you need to be confident. Okay, I should skip this question, I should attempt this question, I should use logic and find out the answer of this question. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Next question, with reference to National Investment Fund, every year the questions have been asked related to such type of funds which have been created by the government. In last test, we have discussed about the Agricultural Investment Fund. Here we are discussing about the NIF. Consider the following statement. The purpose of the fund was to receive disinvestment procedures of central public sector enterprises and to invest the same to generate earning. This statement is correct. Earning of the fund were to be used for central social welfare schemes. So you need to know basically why this investment fund is created. Last is fund is part of the Consolidated Fund of India. So you need to know whether it can be a part of the Consolidated Fund of India or not. So these questions you should skip if you are not sure about. So anyone knows what is the answer of this question? Have you ever checked whether all the three statements are correct or wrong? Yes,
Sir,
Zainab.
third is not right.
Third is wrong. Fine. So if third is wrong, what should be the answer then? Only 1 and 2. Because
Yes, sir.
because in eliminate all, right? Because in B we have 3, in C we have 3, and in D also 1, 2, 3. So it is wrong. So 1 and 2 only. How many of you have not attempted this question? Like if you know that such type of fund cannot be a part of Consolidated Fund of India, it's very easy question. You don't need to know about first and second statement. If you know about third statement is 100% wrong, you will get the answer. Right, Naveen?
Yes, sir.
Check 19. Look at the statements about financial and business cycles. sometimes the questions have been asked related to such type of what you can say the abstract things about economy, like there was one questions related to like opportunity cost. There was some questions like we can say which among the following may lead to what you can say concentration of wealth, like rice. So it's better to skip such type of questions if you don't know about it. Anyways, we'll try to find out the answer of this question. Business cycle is a fluctuation in economic activity, but in the financial what you can say cycle, the financial disruptions tends to be long. So second, the scope of the financial cycle is wider than the business cycle and has a deep impact on the global economy. Which of the following statement is correct? The question has been asked. So obviously, the impact of the financial cycle is more on the economy in long term. So the second statement is correct. And business cycle fluctuates in economic activity, but financial cycle disruption tends to be long. So both the statements are correct in this question. So answer should be both 1 and 2.
So can you explain briefly the difference between both of them, financial and business cycle?
See, business cycle means that one particular business, what you can say, business cycle means what, like if you know that in a particular year, some businesses are in what you can say, they have a cycle, like what you can say, कुछ business ऐसे होते हैं कि जिस किसी particular period में ही उसका मतलब demand बढ़ता है और demand कम हो जाता है. But financial cycle means what? Financial cycle like supply of the money, and again what you can say the government policies and taxes. These are financial cycle. So financial cycle is a more kind of what you can say a structural issue, or what you can say a type of what you can say the supply side, while the business cycle is actually depends upon the demand side. So जो demand होता है वो कभी कभी like for business sometimes may be fluctuated in economic activity in a year, but financial cycle जो होता है it is actually a result of the government policies, a long term government policies. So business cycle is a fluctuation in economic activity, but in financial sector, financial disruption tends to be long. Like if there is any disruption in the financial sector, it could lead to a long-term what you can say the impact. So financial cycle is actually a result of the government policies, and the business cycle is actually is a result of what you can say fluctuation is a result of short-term problems like season or disaster, or maybe what you can say due to some time of what you can say the like the for example, you can see the current situation where the businesses have been slowed down. It is actually a result of the COVID-19. It is not a financial problem, it is a business cycle problem, right? So it can be recovered back again, but if the problem is from the policy side, from the financial side, then it cannot be recovered back in a short term. So that is what is mentioned here, that the scope of the financial cycle is wider than the business cycle and has a deep impact on the global economy. Got it, Manish?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So both are correct.
Yeah, both are correct. Both the statements are correct. So might be in answer key, I must have marked only one only. So I think both are correct. Okay. Now going to the last question. High level of this question has been what you can say cancelled because I have not given the statement. Anyway, COR means anyone?
पूरा है ऊपर से शुरू है with respect to capital output ratio consider the following.
Okay. With respect to capital output ratio, consider the following statement. It is the amount of capital needed to produce 1 unit of output. Second, higher level of COR means capital is efficiently employed in the country. Select the correct answer. So both the statements are correct.
नहीं सर, higher level COR तो inefficiency दिखाता है ना सर?
Sorry. Yeah. Higher level of COR means capital is efficiently employed. This is wrong. So statement should be 1 only. Yeah. Okay. So any doubts? Now, if you have any doubts about economy, you can ask me. Like whether it is revision related doubts or topic related doubts. अगर कुछ भी doubts है, you just let me know, and then we'll go for the history.
Sir, this business cycle and economic cycle,
Financial
business cycle. So what extra need to study in that, like other?
No, see, that is what I'm saying, Manish. कि ऐसे वाले जो सवाल होते हैं ना, don't run for such type of question. Don't study for such type of question, because we don't know what will be, which concept they may ask question in the exam. So that would be a kind of surprise questions, or that could be a kind of unpredictable question. See, Manish, one problem which I found with the UPSC student is that we run more behind unpredictable questions and we ignore predictable questions, or we don't try to make our what you can say a strong preparation in the predictable question. तो क्या करना चाहिए सौरभ, पहले जो predictable वाला जो पार्ट है उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग करिए, फिर उसके बाद जो अनप्रेडिक्टेबल वाला पार्ट है वो एग्जाम में अगर कोई अनप्रेडिक्टेबल वाला क्वेश्चन आता है, इफ यू नो यू शुड अटेम्प्ट इट, इफ यू डोंट नो लीव इट. इफ यू ऑब्जर्व दैट out of 100 questions which are coming in the prelims exam, 60 to 70 are like 70, no, not more than 70, like around 80 questions are predictable and 20 questions are unpredictable. There will be one such questions from each topic, so 20 questions will be unpredictable. What you need to know, if you prepare for those 80 predictable questions, you will easily get 50 correct answers. And that is what is problem. You know why people go for current affairs, like there are compilation of the current affairs, like इतने मतलब 1500 पेज 2000 पेज का कंपाइलेशन होता है करंट अफेयर्स का, और वो भी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल होता है, और उतना पढ़ने के बावजूद भी you will get only 1 or 2 questions from those huge what you can say the compilation. So you shouldn't go for unpredictable questions, you should focus more on the predictable. हाँ, once your predictable part is over, अगर आपका predictable part हो चुका है, अच्छे से प्रिपेयर हो चुका है, then you should go for such type of unpredictable question. So this question what is that financial and business cycle वाला जो business cycle and financial cycle वाला जो question है, it is an unpredictable question, unpredictable source. There is no proper source for such type of question, and there are certain questions from each topic: polity, geography, economics, environment, then as well as science and tech, history. ऐसे बहुत सारे चीजें हैं जो unpredictable हैं. So I am giving you the list of the topics which are predictable, and have a strong preparation of the predictable subjects, and I'm very sure कि उतना prepare करके आपको qualify करना है. Here आपको you don't need to score high, right? Suppose if you are getting 110 marks and if you are getting qualified, and if you are getting qualified by scoring 150 marks in prelims, both are safe. So what you should do, focus on predictable questions. Got it, Manish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Because what will happen, you will lose a lot of your time running behind the unpredictable question, और उसमें भी क्या होगा कि वो unpredictable में से आएगा ही नहीं आएगा कुछ पता नहीं है, and there is no proper source as well. Okay, सबको समझ में आ रहा है what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Naveen, Zainab.
Yes, sir.
See, I have seen many students who said to me कि सर मेरा प्रिपरेशन तो काफी अच्छा था, मैंने बहुत पढ़ाई की थी, मैंने सब कुछ पढ़ा था, बट उसके बावजूद भी मेरा 4 या 5 मार्क से रह गया. तो ये ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं कि those who have like पढ़ाई तो बहुत की है, बट कौन सी पढ़ाई की उन्होंने अनप्रेडिक्टेबल पार्ट से की. और ये एक और गलती ऐसी होती है कि एग्जाम होने के बाद आफ्टर दे गिव द एग्जाम दे डोंट चेक इट आउट कि जिस सोर्सेस से उन्होंने पढ़ाई की थी उस सोर्स से कितने क्वेश्चन आए, और how many questions they solved by their own and how many questions they solved from those sources, those material. So अगर आपने वो टाइम वहां पर वेस्ट नहीं किया होता, और अगर आपने प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर को एनालिसिस करके ये ट्रेंड को समझ लिया अगर होता, तो एग्जाम में कुछ सवाल आपके गलत होने से रहते और कुछ सवाल आप ज्यादा अटेम्प्ट करते या ज्यादा सही हो जाते जो आपने स्किप किए थे. समझ में आ रहा है ये? Okay, how many of you have given at least one attempt of UPSC? Out of आप में से कितने लोगों ने दिया हुआ है एग्जाम?
I have given.
You have given exam. Okay, what about you, Saurabh? Chandrasekhar. Yes. Bagisha, you have also given an attempt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, last year दिया था. तो आप लोग ज्यादा इस चीज को समझ रहे होंगे what I'm trying to say. Those who have already given the exam, those who have not given, obviously अभी उनको एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है कि क्योंकि ऐसे होता है ना, और वो भी ऐसा है पूरे साल भर पढ़ाई करने के बावजूद भी जब आप एग्जाम में जाते हो और उसके बावजूद भी अगर 5-10 मार्क से अगर आपका रह जाता है, इसका मतलब ये है कि आपकी पढ़ाई कम हो गई है, इसकी वजह से आप डिस्क्वालीफाई हुए हो या क्वालिफाई नहीं हुए, ऐसे नहीं है. It's because of the lack of strategy that you are not qualified. It's not because of the lack of knowledge. You have knowledge. If you are scoring around 90 marks, it means you know it. यू आर व्हाट आई कैन से, आपके जो 10 मार्क्स जो कम हुए हैं वो इसलिए कम हुए हैं बिकॉज आप स्ट्रेटेजिकली कौन से क्वेश्चन को अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए और कौन से क्वेश्चन को अटेम्प्ट नहीं करना चाहिए ये नहीं पता था, इसकी वजह से आपका नहीं हुआ। आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल, वन ऑफ माय स्टूडेंट लास्ट ईयर हु क्वालिफाइड प्रीलिम्स, उसके पहले साल इन 2018 he given exam prelims exam and he was short of only 0.75 marks. The cutoff was 84 marks and he got 83.24 something. And when I asked him to come and let me show which question you attempted and which questions you are not attempted, so when I seen that he attempted good questions but he attempted 10 more questions, और मैंने उसको ये बताया कि अगर आप दो सवाल, if he has skipped 2 questions then you would have got how many marks, because 1/3, like 1/3 कितना होता है, 2 marks को 1/3 होता है around 66, am I right? What is 1/3 of the 2 marks? 1/3 of 2 marks का कितना
Yes.
होता है? 66.66, right? Suppose if
Yes,
he
sir.
has left 2 questions, तो he would have, उसके जो नेगेटिव हुए हैं वो नहीं हो पाते, मतलब 66.66 plus 66.66 means you must have got 1.22 marks. तो अगर उसने 2 क्वेश्चन स्किप भी अगर कर आए होते तो वो क्वालिफाई होता। समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
तो दैट्स व्हाट इज नीडेड फॉर प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम। फाइन, I will tell you before the exam I will give you the tricks also, as well as I will give you a strategy, how much you should attempt, how much you should not attempt, what you should do. Like कभी कभी ऐसे हो जाता है ना कि जिस तरीके से हम पढ़ाई करते हैं उस तरीके से एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन नहीं आते हैं, सडनली यू गेट पैनिक इन द एग्जाम। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या करना चाहिए? सपोज हो सकता है मैंने जिस तरीके से बताया है उस तरीके से ऐसे तो नहीं होगा, आई एम वेरी श्योर कि 100 क्वेश्चन है तो 100 में से एटलीस्ट 80 क्वेश्चन ऐसे होंगे जैसे मैंने आपको बताया है। हाँ, 20 सवाल ऐसे हो सकते हैं कि एवरी ईयर यूपीएससी इंट्रोड्यूस सम न्यू ट्रेंड इन 10-20 क्वेश्चंस, नॉट इन ऑल 100 क्वेश्चन। यूपीएससी अगर ट्रेंड बदलता है तो ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरे 100 सवाल में ट्रेंड बदलेगा। ट्रेंड जो बदलेगा वो मैक्स टू मैक्स 10 सवाल में या 20 सवाल में बदलेगा। 80 क्वेश्चंस प्रीवियस ईयर ट्रेंड के हिसाब से ही होते हैं, तो 80 क्वेश्चंस वैसे ही होंगे जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बताया है। बट फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज अगर 30 या 40 सवाल होंगे कि जो अकॉर्डिंग टू ट्रेंड नहीं होंगे, तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या करना चाहिए, दैट आई विल लेट यू नो बिफोर 5 days ऑफ द एग्जाम, नॉट नाउ। सो यू नीड टू बी इन टच विथ मी टिल द लास्ट डे ऑफ द एग्जाम। सो जो इंपॉर्टेंट जो सक्सेस की है ना वो मैं लास्ट दिन बताने वाला हूं, अब नहीं, बिकॉज अदरवाइज क्या हो जाएगा, यू विल लिव बिफोर द एग्जाम। फाइन, चलिए, शैल वी स्टॉप हियर?
Yes.
Yes,
History,
sir.
sir?
ठीक है,
Sir,
okay.
ancient history.
Yes, ancient history we will go. 1 second. So ये इकोनॉमिक्स का क्लियर हो गया?
Sir, ancient history
Yes.
means along with that we can take art and culture also, no?
No, art and culture is actually for prelim, mains exam. So art, whatever art and culture will come along with those topics that you need to do right now. So
Okay.
let me check it out. The 1 second.
So sir, today का session night you will be available 11?
For you?
Yes, yes.
ठीक है, we'll try.
Yes, sir. Any time other than 11 also is fine. Any time which is possible, like
Okay,
night.
okay. We'll do that. We'll do that, Manish.
Just this question paper only, I want to like have few questions, no? So that
About-
I can discuss.
About this economy.
This economy only.
Okay,
Yes.
ठीक है, चलिए. Okay, can you see the screen now? Important topics for ancient history. So I have given certain topics, and this is again as per the recent trends on which the questions have been asked. So I want you to finish it by Sunday or maybe by Saturday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I want you to finish all these topics. So here you can see that I have not given all the topics of ancient history. I have given only those topics on which the questions have been asked in the previous exam. So I was supposed to discuss with you the previous questions of the ancient and medieval history, that how the questions are being framed in the ancient and medieval part. So every year there are around 15 to 16 questions from the history. And again, modern Indian history and ancient and medieval history have equal weightage. In fact, in last 2-3 years, UPSC is asking more questions from ancient and medieval than modern. Maximum student prepared more for modern and they ignore ancient and medieval. And because you know, when the trend of preparing for the modern India is more in the classes or more in the students are preparing for UPSC go for surprise, what we can say the change, they go for ancient and medieval India. So what will happen again? Now again people will focus more on the ancient and medieval, and after sometimes UPSC may ask questions more on the modern India. So right now the trend is that in last 2 years the trend is more about ancient and medieval, and especially more questions from the medieval India, and especially the questions are more from what you can say the art and architecture and religion. So we will see the question, the trend of the questions previously which have been there. Again, here I have given you that those who do not have the sources for history, you can directly click on this particular the link. I have given you the link of the Jagran Josh, from where you can get a concise material which will be useful for your what you can say prelims preparation. Again, it is not useful for mains. It is not useful for what you can say the other essay and all. But this information which is available here, this is useful for your prelims only. So if you don't have the sources for this, we can directly click on the link and you will be redirected to the Jagran Jot website, where you will get the what you can say a concise material for revision of ancient and medieval history. So do it once. Again, I know it's not possible to remember each fact of the ancient and history, but don't worry about the fact. Focus more on the concept. Right? So today I want you to read this particular topic, IVC and Vedic and later Vedic age, and if possible finish it up to Maurya. So today's target for all of you to read these topics. Fine. You read it. Tomorrow if you have any doubts about this issue, like ये जो पढ़ रहे हो आप, इससे related अगर आपको कुछ doubts है तो tomorrow you can ask me, because I know before reading you may not be having any doubts. So read all these topics, and tomorrow if you have any problems, any doubts about this particular topics, you can ask me in the tomorrow session. And tomorrow we will be discussing the questions related to these two topics, that is IVC and Vedic and later Vedic age, how the questions are asked or framed from these particular topics. Fine. Is this approach okay? Moin?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, okay.
ठीक है,
Yes,
चलिए
sir, perfect.
पहले आप
Yes,
पढ़
sir.
लीजिए, फिर उसके बाद डाउट पूछते हैं और उसके बाद क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं, बिकॉज पढ़ने के बाद हम we will try to
Yes,
find
sir.
out the questions, how the questions are being framed on these topics. चलिए, so we'll stop it here, we'll continue tomorrow.